patriarchal underpinnings of the complementarity of the roles of women actually is a very rational, comprehensive, well-worked-out system that has huge support from economics, from politics, from tradition, from literature, from mythology. Within itself, it's very rational and complete. It is anti-historical. Now, we want to replace that, and this is the question, we want to replace that with a kind of world in which this has been turned around topsy-turvy. People have choices. People have participate in ways that they want to. People have emotions and thoughts that could be applicable to men or women. So how to do this? This is a kind of change that requires not just pushing more women into schools, not just pushing more women into work, which are important, but a complete and thorough change in the architecture of human relationships. We'd have to think about how do we even redesign our cities? How do we reorganize the way people shop, transportation, retelling of our myths, reinterpreting religions, on top of all the other things that one has been, in this group at least, has been paying attention to, which are the harder economic and political issues. Now, in order to do that, what we need is really the best minds, men and women across the world, to be doing this. And to think of it, somehow a shift has to take place, that these are not women's issues. That the vision thing, we have to figure out exactly what kind of world we want to live in. How do the interpersonal, interfamily, community, national, international issues play out in that larger vision? We have broad ideas, but I don't think we have quite pictured what that world looks like at all of these various levels. Now, these minds are of course, the kinds of minds that would be very helpful if they paid attention to that. Now, among the things that we are struggling with, and I'll just make, I don't know how much time, but please interrupt whenever, but a list of the kinds of things that we have been working on, again from the Global South, which is the network of organizations that I work with. How many is that? That's one of the things that we're working with is the idea that although numbers of women in decision making and in policy making positions are very important, the nature of the way that they lead is perhaps as important, if not more important. We are reaching in some places the 30%, which is we consider the percentage that begins to make a critical mass, that begins to make a difference. We've been to reach that and have reached it in some places, sometimes by quotas, sometimes in different ways. But the quality of leadership is very important, and that also connects itself to the vision thing. That is, the patriarchal system of decision making that we're used to, which has to do with aggression, with competition, with when I lose, with aggression to some extent, authoritarian way of decision making, which lines the males and then females depending on age. I think that's been prevalent. Now we want to replace that with a horizontal, dialogical, participatory kind of decision making. The dilemma is the ones who exercise the other kind of leadership are the ones who happen to be in power. Now, how do you replace people who are practicing that kind of leadership by people who are doing dialogical, participatory, horizontal leadership? It's possible, but it takes, I think, a lot of thinking to see how to deal with that. The issue that is related to that, and right now is concerning our group of organizations a great deal, is the idea of the role of religion, and especially religion that being played out as politics. How do we deal with that? Again, the extraordinary influence of the media is there. It picks up extremism, which is always explosive, always camera-friendly. Moderate interpretations of religion in quiet, non-violent ways does not really show itself or affect others as much as the other. The reasons referred to here from in many of the conversations there, but how do we really work between authoritarian governments, international forces which are playing out in ways that are very difficult to understand. Sometimes they seem totally self-destructive and unproductive. And then the extremist fundamentalist forces and the women caught between these various forces. How do we play that out? These are things that we're also concerned with and are working on. The other thing that is very positive is the effect of technology that was referred to here. That is the thing that we count on a great deal, because our strength is in getting the individual woman in a local community situation connected to national and connected to regional and international networks and movements. So technology has been for our work, for movement building, for connecting, for exchange, North-North-South exchange, exchange of knowledge, creation of knowledge. It's been an extraordinary important thing. The kind of experience we have been having would not have been possible. My organization, as a matter of fact, would have not been able to exist at all if it weren't for the use of technology, which has made it possible intense, ongoing communication, exchange of information, and movement building. So technology is the other part of it. So since I'm totally got 1 minute to go, I will end. I won't say any of the other things that we've been talking about. I'll end with a plea. Please, at least in the following this when chance for comments, please give us at least one response, at least me as the representative of the group from that I was talking about. How can we get men interested to pay attention and to see this issue in a broader sense as their own issue, not as, okay, we want to be fair to women, but how is it my issue as a man to change this architecture of human relations all the way bottom up and top to bottom?